again. Our next speaker is Michael Letwin, former president of the UAW 2325, and he's from the Labor for Palestine National Network. Give it up for Michael Letwin.
Free, free Palestine!
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 Free!
Can't hear you!
Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Thank you. I'm honored to be here on behalf of New York City Labor for Palestine, UAW Labor for Palestine, and the entire Labor for Palestine National Network, which I'm pleased to say now includes more than 40 member groups around the country. You know, on October 16th, 2023, Palestinian trade unions appealed to international labor. Quote, "We need you to take immediate action wherever you are in the world to prevent the arming of the Israeli state and the companies involved in the infrastructure of the blockade." Yet many still ask, why is Palestine a labor issue? People here have already mentioned so many aspects of this, but I just want to summarize it once more. One, an injury to one is an injury to all. Say it with me. An injury to one
is an injury to all.
An injury to one
Is an injury to all.
Louder. An injury to one
Is an injury to all.
the most fundamental labor principle of all. An injury to one is an injury to all. And Zionism and the Israeli settler colonial regime and all of Israel, so-called, is occupied Palestine. Let's be clear about that. Is part of the same U.S.-backed system of racism, state violence that brutalizes black, indigenous, people of color, and working-class people here in New York City and around the world. And with Israel's knee on their neck, Palestinians cannot breathe. We unconditionally stand with them, just as they have stood with our struggles for black and brown lives, for Standing Rock, for migrant rights, and every other struggle here for justice. Number two, as others have pointed out quite clearly here today, our tax dollars fund Israel. And let's also be clear that it's not just the Republican Party, it's equally the Democratic Party.
That's right.
And that's money that should be spent here on badly needed jobs, food, housing, healthcare, education, transportation for poor and working class people. Three, our own workplaces arm Israel, including, I must say, workplaces that are organized by my own union, the UAW. Many of our unionized factories, logistics, academia, tech, and other workplaces, without our consent, produce weapons, transportation, research, technology, and other materials for the genocidal Israeli regime. Four, and not recognized often enough, our unions fund Israel. They're already involved. The leadership of these unions already have been involved for more than a century by donating millions to the Histadrut, the Zionist Labor Federation that spearheaded anti-Palestinian dispossession, apartheid, ethnic cleansing, including the Nakba that established the Israeli state in 1948. And for more than 70 years, many of these same union leaders have used our union dues and our pension funds to buy billions of dollars worth of Israel bonds. And today, despite horrendous, unspeakable Palestinian casualties, most labor officials remain silent or worse. And fifth, and perhaps most important about why Palestine is a labor issue, is that rank-and-file workers in this country have the power to stop Israeli genocide. More than 50 years ago, in 1973, Arab and black auto workers led a wildcat strike and other action to protest UAW complicity with Israel in Detroit. Today, we can follow their example by respecting the BDS picket line, because that's what it is. It's a picket line. And as union members and workers, we don't cross picket lines, we walk picket lines. And so by protesting, bringing union resolutions, but more importantly, most importantly, above all, by mobilizing our collective power at the workplace, as shown by dockers around the world from South Africa, India, Sweden, Norway, Turkey, Italy, Belgium, and on our own West Coast, where ILWU dock workers have refused for 10 years to handle Israeli Zimline cargo. And for all these reasons, we applaud the 7 major unions who recently called on genocide Joe Biden to end U.S. military funding to Israel. And that includes the flight attendants, the postal workers, the painters, NEA, SEIU, the UAW, and the United Electrical Workers. But at the same time, we must also say, as the Palestinian trade unions have said to us, that words alone are not enough. Yes, union resolutions and statements to end the genocide are critical. But Palestinian workers are not looking for simple words. They're looking for action. So what does that look like? Well, this week, Labor for Palestine and many other workers and union members are protesting in Chicago to make this real by charging and calling out Democratic Party complicity with genocide and calling on our unions, many of which have now issued this call for an arms embargo, to put their money where their mouth is by stop endorsing the Harris-Waltz slate led by Kamala Harris, who's part of the same administration that just sent $20 billion more in weapons to Israel. And to stop all complicity with the ongoing Nakba that has murdered at least 186,000 Palestinians in Gaza over the last 10 months. And the Palestinians have an inalienable right to resist. And in resistance, in Palestine and here at home, from the campuses to the workplaces and beyond, in that resistance, in this terrible moment, there is hope. Thank you.
Ceasefire now!
Ceasefire now!
Ceasefire now!
Ceasefire now!
Not another bomb!
Not another bomb!
Not another bomb!
Not another bomb!
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jose Vasquez. I'm a proud U.S. Army veteran and the Executive Director of Common Defense, the nation's largest grassroots organization of progressive veterans. You can Google Common Defense and ceasefire to find out more about us. And if you're a vet out there, please join our movement. As our sister said, in April 2022, I had the honor of traveling to Palestine with a delegation hosted by Breaking the Silence and many grassroots organizations in Palestine. We met with Palestinian and Israeli activists, journalists, and human rights lawyers, all united in the struggle for peace. I witnessed firsthand the harsh daily realities Palestinians face under military occupation and unchecked settler violence. In East Jerusalem, Hebron, the South Hebron Hills, and Ramallah. That experience changed me forever. And it's why I stand here today demanding that our government take action to end the violence in Gaza and across the West Bank. We are in a moment of crisis. The war in Gaza has claimed over 40,000 lives, displaced countless families, and left communities in ruins. This humanitarian catastrophe demands more than just words. It demands action. Veterans know the horrors of war better than most. That's why I'm here to say loud and clear, this must stop.
This must stop!
For too long, groups like AIPAC have wielded disproportionate influence over our foreign policy, pushing an agenda that prioritizes military weapons over human rights. This too must end. AIPAC and its allies have supported policies that allow for the continuation of the blockade, the expansion of settlements, and the devastating bombing campaigns in Gaza. And they've done so with the full backing of people like Donald Trump, who not only emboldened the worst elements of this conflict, but also shattered any hope for peace during his presidency. But let's be clear. The blame doesn't lie with Trump alone. The Biden administration has continued to approve billions in military aid to Israel, even as the war in Gaza rages on. This is unacceptable. Our government must send a clear message that Palestinian lives matter and that the United States will no longer be complicit in perpetuating the violence and genocide. We must demand more from our leaders. The Biden administration and the Harris-Walz campaign must commit to an embargo on weapons to Israel until a permanent ceasefire is achieved. Enough is enough. We cannot continue to supply arms to a conflict that has claimed so many innocent lives. We must stand on the side of peace, justice, and human rights. This is not just about pointing fingers. It's about demanding change while clinging to the hope for a better future. We are here because we believe in a future where peace is possible. We can end the bloodshed and create a just and lasting peace for both Israelis and Palestinians if we have the courage to do what's right. This is not a radical call. It's a moral one. Many veterans have seen the destruction, the trauma, and the loss of war firsthand. That's why we stand here today alongside fellow organizers, labor unions, and faith leaders calling for an end to the violence. And we are a coalition that believes in justice for all people. The path to peace isn't through bombs or blockades. It's through diplomacy, negotiation, and a commitment to basic human rights. If we truly stand for freedom and democracy, we must hold ourselves to a higher standard. We must demand that our leaders stop fueling this war and instead lead the charge for lasting peace. So today, I call on President Biden, Vice President Harris, and Governor Walz, take a stand. Stand for peace, stand for justice, and stand for an end to this senseless war. Commit to an arms embargo until a ceasefire is reached and help bring an end to the suffering in Gaza. Not another bomb! Not another bomb! Not another bomb! Thank you.
Thank you, Jose. Let's give it up once more for labor. Give it up for the anti-war movement. Let's give it up for veterans for ceasefire. Yeah. All right. We're gonna do something. Let's practice what we're gonna say. Ceasefire now!
Ceasefire now!
Arms embargo now!
Arms embargo now!
please come up to my right side. And you see my friend waving her hand there. Please find Rachel. We're gonna follow. We need 20 more people. 20 beautiful, courageous,